Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Natalia Staroprava, and we continue the series of briefing from Medіацентру Ukraine. We have Yevheniya Kravchuk online with us, People's Deputy, member of the Ukrainian delegation of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly. Miss Yevheniya, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you too. So it's been on the 24th of November, on Thursday. OSCE Assembly in Warsaw will take place. What questions will be there in priority and considered first? So at this assembly, the most important the Ukrainian delegation will be working towards is that there for the vote, the changes of the procedures of CSE to be put there, so that this might allow later to put off for a long time, for the time of Russian aggression, Russian delegation, because as it right now, these kind of rules are not written even in these rules and procedures. So right now we are talking about exactly the parliamentary assembly, about its parliamentary part. The Ukrainian delegation will not be able to attend it in full membership because Polish side declined to give visas to so-called Russian Federation Parliament, since they all are there in the sanction list of European Union, including European Union, and also this is the position of Poland as our partner. And by the way, Poland declined even to give visa to Lavrov. And later on the 1st and 2nd of December, the Assembly of Ministers of countries of OSCE members will take place. That is why neither Lavrov nor Russian representatives of Gosduma, Russian Parliament, will be allowed to this assembly. However, we want for it to be written there in the rules and terms of the organization. Right now we are working with the Secretariat, Chancellery, and about the order of this voting and elections, because in OSCE there is another order of doing this, because this is the organ. In OSCE there is a consensus -1 rule. It means that the more if one country will be against, this kind of decision or rules will not be changed. And I'm sure that Russia will try by means of other countries to block this decision. And in this way, we will be conducting the negotiations with OSCE. In terms of Lavrov, I cannot avoid this incident that happened there on G20 assembly when on Bali Island, when Lavrov didn't wait till the very end. Does it have anything to do with the fact that Poland refused to give visa and didn't invite Lavrov? No, it doesn't have anything to do with it. However, it has to do with the general tendency, because Russia is a toxic country and nobody wants to deal with it. Lavrov left this summit because of the reason that nobody wanted to talk to him. If I'm not mistaken, only Chinese representatives on some kind of low level, they were communicating with Lavrov. So he wasn't there on the photo footage, neither on any kind of meetings. So if if General Assembly is of UN is taking place, Lavrov is also there with his satellites from Africa, for example, is taking picture and showing that these are huge achievements. Under no circumstances I'm kind of declining the role of African countries, but however, there are some countries that are dependent on the money. And this is countries where it's not democracy there, but where kings are still given their heritage to their sons. So all in all, the countries that are not supporting the rights of people and so on. So they are the allies of Russia. But when it comes to G20, it's clear that the majority of countries do not share the aggressive policy of Russia and simply do not want to stay next to Lavrov. Tomorrow, European Parliament will consider exception of Russia as the sponsor of terrorism. What will it mean and how will it mark Russia? So I want to remind then that two parliament assemblies before the European Parliament, these are the representatives of national parliaments, have considered and declared Russia as a sponsor of terrorism. and the state that has terrorist regime. This is the European Council by resolution accepted in October, and the Parliament Assembly of NATO countries also declared the same resolution with the same argumentation and terminologies. That is why I do not have any doubt that European Parliament will vote tomorrow on Wednesday for this resolution, because European Parliament has always been in its majority on Ukrainian side and on the side of common sense, and allowed a little more than those even national parliaments. What it means in a practical way. As a matter of fact, this will be an additional factor and additional, I would say, red big button for the governments of European Union countries for economical cooperation with Russia. We can see that even now they are refusing signing contracts with them and declining the level of their dependence from gas and oil. But however, they still have some economical knots. And we are working towards the total isolation of Russia. I mean, the political one, economical one. And European Parliament resolution doesn't have any direct action. However, this is quite a powerful signal. And when our diplomats will continue working with different European capitals there on the table as additional factor, this will be a European Parliament resolution. What does it mean? Does it mean that each vote of every country voting for exception of Russia as aggressor, or the majority is needed for them? Who else out of European countries didn't vote for Russia being accepted as a terrorist state? So for the voting of European resolution, a majority is needed. That is why I'm sure that this resolution will be accepted. We will look at the position of several countries. For example, Hungary. It will be interesting to take a look at them, because opposition also represented in European Parliament. They will support it, and we will take a look at the position of pro-authority party. But again, the decision is being made by the majority of votes. So we have heard many times about creation of special tribunal for Russian authorities and for Putin. What instruments are being implemented, and what instruments are used in order to do this, and what are the obstacles for this? As a matter of fact, this kind of tribunal and trials can be created in several ways. It's either international agreement between the countries who share the intent that Russian military and political leadership to bear necessary responsibility and to be brought to justice, or this can be a trial of international organizations, for example, European Union, European Council, and obviously when it comes to ex-Yugoslavia and other military crimes, they were organized these kind of trials by UN. But what we see is that UN is kind of blocked right now. I mean, the Security Council of UN, the one that blocks any initiatives, and the general resolution are being heard, but on the level of Security Council, they do not go through. And again, the International Parliament Assembly, they have urged the calls for different countries to support the idea of creation of some kind of tribunal. And recently, Czech Republic and before that, Netherlands voted for this. Moreover, Netherlands are ready to do this in Hague and to accept and to organize this tribunal on the premises of Hague, because there is ICC headquarters is there, and they already have special experience of creation special trials. That is why it's obviously that this might be quite a decent decision. And as of right now, I would say this is a fight, and this process is still going on, because we need more and more countries who are ready to sign, to put their signature for the idea of creation this kind of tribunal. Ms. Yevheniya, can you please tell what Ukraine should expect from this assembly, and what results can Ukraine expect from it? Yeah, I'm sorry. What assembly are we talking about? Because we are talking about two different assemblies. Yes, I'm sorry. The one I'm talking about is the one taking place on 24th of in Warsaw. Correct. Okay. Okay, it will start on 24th, the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly regarding the changes to the reglement and rules. There will be a huge conference conducted with the participation of parliaments of OSCE members in terms of Ukraine, in terms of what national parliaments, how they can help Ukraine more in terms of war, and for the further rebuilding of Ukraine. And this conference will be within the framework, will continue for 2 days, and it's obvious that it will be talked about military help, and we will resort to our partnership countries to reinforce it. And again, one more time, I think we will have to put the I's and cross the T's uh, on on the topic of escalation of the conflict. We do not have time for this, and all these negotiations, let's put it this way, allegedly negotiations, Russia uses to have a small recess and in, to continue its influence on, on Ukraine. And also in Polish Parliament, same, there will be an exhibition opened regarding Ukrainian women and their role in this conflict during these months of war and years of war. And what kind of exhibition will it be? Who will be able to attend it? So it will take place in Polish Sejm, in Polish Parliament, for all the guests of Parliament Assembly of OSCE. All the deputies will be able to see it, and everyone who comes to Polish Parliament will have a chance to see the face of those heroic women, because these are volunteers, these are doctors, these are women who bear this responsibility on their shoulders, and the women who have even many kids on their hands. Somebody is working still in Ukraine, somebody had to move out of the country, and also these are the women who are military servicemen. They're at the very front line, and I think that in terms of the role of women and the women's rights during this war, one has to speak, because it's not women are not only victims of war, but this is a powerful factor in terms of protection of Ukraine. Also, when it comes to diplomacy, with the women face. And the previous month, the delegation of Ukrainian delegations consisted completely of women. Thank you so much for this conversation. We had Yevheniya Kravchuk, People's Deputy, member of the Ukrainian delegation of the OSCE